Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Test Layer channel. This is episode 2. As many of you, or the 5 views that I have, I guess 5 of you, and not including the 1 view that I did, but the few viewers that I had, as you guys may know, this channel is related to my going more eco-friendly. I ordered a Tesla, which has not come yet. It's been several months. Don't know when it's coming, don't know if it's coming, just know the order's in. But nonetheless, we won't go into that. Today's episode is going to be about my journey into going solar. So when I ordered the Tesla, my plan was to get solar panels put in so that my charging would be as cheap as possible, if not free. So the goal was to totally go off of gasoline and to save as much money as possible, as I'm sure all of you want to do with these cars. So there wasn't a big rush for me. I've been thinking about solar for a few years, never really pulled the trigger because of the price and because of rebates and all these things, issues that were going on. But what happened this year is they switched over. So this year in California, at least, the power companies got together, in private of course, and they decided that they're going to switch over to a new type of metering. Now, the old metering basically allowed you to sell back the power to get credit on your bill. The new metering will basically reduce that dramatically. So after April 13th, if you go onto the new metering, what's going to happen is you are going to get 1/3 of the credit back. So if you're on the fence about solar, you only have a couple weeks. I apologize, this video is kind of late, but you've got a couple weeks to get this in. I would strongly urge you to go ahead and get with a local solar company, preferably a smaller one, and get yourself signed up for that. Now, you got to understand one thing. The going solar and being grandfathered into the net metering 2.0, all that requires is that you have an agreement with your electric company. Now, the way that you get that agreement, you got to hire a company, a solar company, to come up with the plans and to submit for permits. Once you do that, you're pretty much guaranteed to get grandfathered in. So if you're on the fence, you don't know if you want to do solar, but you definitely are thinking about it, this is the time. Don't delay. You got a couple weeks. You can still get the application in. You can still get yourself going for the billing under Net 2.0. Now, what is the difference between the two? Basically, Net Metering 2.0 allows you to sell back the power roughly at the cost that you buy it for. So your amount of years that it'll take for you to recover the cost of your panels is dramatically less. The Net Metering 3.0, which takes place for anyone after April 13th, that's gonna give you basically pennies per kilowatt. The current metering is about 35 cents per kilowatt from what I understand. So don't quote me on exactly on that, but it's a dramatic difference, and it's enough to basically make payback from your panels spread out over double, if not triple, the number of years. So it will not make as much sense to go solar after April 13th. I strongly advise everyone to do so now. So let's get into what you should look for in a solar company. If you are in a rush to get this done, my advice is don't go with Tesla Solar. I looked into that. I've had friends that have done it. They do provide some pretty good low-cost options, but there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind. Number one, their customer service is terrible. You will sign up online. You won't hear back from them for months. There's no one that you can speak to get your project expedited. So that's the first problem with Tesla Solar. So right now, if you're looking to get grandfathered in, don't go with Tesla. The other issue with Tesla Solar, they do use so basically you got panels on your roof that generate electricity. Then you have inverters that convert that electricity from direct current to alternating current. I don't want to get too technical on that, but basically the type of inverter that Tesla uses is kind of old school. It's something that's been around for a long time. It's cheap, so that kind of cuts the cost of your system down. But it is known to have more issues than the newer systems, the newer system being microinverters. So what these microinverters are, they're little inverters that go underneath each panel. That is going to be your best way. There's some other benefits associated with that, but just keep in mind that these are the latest ones, the microinverters. IQ8 by Enphase is what I specifically have in my system that was designed. The Teslas, they use their own branded, it's called a string inverter. And it's just one inverter for all the panels. If that inverter ever goes out, you got no production. That's the first problem. The lifespan of that inverter is a lot less. The one I have is 25-year warranty. Those are about a 10-year warranty. So there are reasons, but forget the inverter, forget all else. The problem is Tesla's not going to get you in before April 13th. Now, once you've made that determination, the next thing is you got to find a local company. I would recommend that you go with a company close to where you live, so that way they can be more responsive and they can get the permits in faster. And make sure you spell it out to them right when you sign the contract that you want to get grandfathered in. That's very important. You make sure that they will put it in writing that they're going to submit that application so you can get grandfathered in. Now, once that's done, like I said, hopefully that'll get going. Your panels don't have to be installed for you to be grandfathered in. You just have to have that application done. So keep that in mind. You don't need the installation by April 13th. You just need everything in the works. So as long as that solar company can submit that to your power company, you're good. Now, what should you look for in solar cells? So basically, when you shop around, you're going to see that everyone uses a different type of panel. They got American panels, Canadian panels, Chinese panels, you name it, all over the world. I would go with panels that are more efficient. They're rated basically on efficiency. They have heat tolerance. There's a bunch of things that you can look for. But the important thing to remember is panels that are more efficient and have less degradation. Degradation is the amount of the amount that they degrade each year. All these panels, they lose their ability to produce electricity every year. So you want to get panels that don't degrade that much every year. So the ones I got are basically REC Alpha Pure Black. Those have a very low degradation rate. The Tesla panels, for example, over 20 years, they would have been down to about 85% of what they're rated at today, between 85 to 90%. These panels should only lose about 5%, so I should have about 95%. So that 10% can be huge, especially if you plan on getting electric cars, if you plan on getting multiple cars. So it will make a difference over time. So I would recommend you get the most efficient panels that you can afford. Generally speaking, the price difference is not that much. It's not that bad. The cheapest ones that I saw, the system that I have is a 9.2 kilowatt. Cheapest quote that I got was about $26,000. The ones that I went with are about $28,000, so $2,000 difference. And these will generate a lot more. And they tend to be more reliable and that sort of thing. So that would be my advice. Like I said, whatever you can get, if I were you, I would just go for it, pull the trigger, get that process going before April 13th. That's your deadline. Move on to solar. You guys will be grateful. I've known friends that have had it for years. Just based on the amount of increases we've had with electricity, that has paid off for them. I had some neighbors across the street that put them in about 5-6 years ago, and they've already paid them off. And unfortunately, I didn't do it at that time. But nonetheless, if you are able to catch this video in time, I hope that you will make that move. I don't have any recommendations in terms of contractors. You're going to have to go to Yelp and look it up. I wouldn't recommend it until I have the work done myself. And since mine are not up yet, I just got the permits approved. I'm not going to recommend yet. But nonetheless, I hope this information helps somebody out there. Of all the 5 viewers that I have so far, I hope one of you guys will pull the trigger with me and we'll go solar. If you have friends that may benefit from this, please, if you can, help me out. Send the link. So if you're watching, hit the subscribe button. I'll try to update this channel regularly. My goal is to reach 1 billion subscribers. I want to serve more people than McDonald's has with their burgers. So if I can get to 2.5 billion people, the earth has, 5 billion folks? So 2.5 billion, that's my goal. So if you can help me out, hit the subscribe button. I promise I will try to keep my videos as helpful as possible, and we'll go from there. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you soon. Take care.